Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Darian and welcome to this 24-hour reading vlog. So I've mentioned this a bunch of times in the vlogs that I've been doing in August, but since basically starting my job at the library this summer, which is where I worked full time, I dreamed of doing another 24-hour readathon, and I knew I wouldn't have time until that job was over, and it ended a little over a week ago. I was hoping to do this with Lisa, but then some things came up for her and she wasn't able to do it, but I am just gonna go ahead and do it on my own. So we are doing a 24-hour readathon today. It is Monday and it is 11:53. I am starting at noon, so I should probably hurry up with this intro, but I'm going till noon tomorrow, obviously, and I'm not gonna do what I used to do in years past where I tried to stay up the whole time. I'm not gonna do that. I am definitely gonna sleep, but I'm gonna try to sleep a little less so that I can read as much as I can, because my reading this summer has not been great. I mean, in terms of the quality of the books, it's been fine, but the quantity is not up to what I would like it to be. Was that proper English? I don't know. You guys may remember I set a goal of reading 100 books this year. That is definitely not happening, mostly because of how atrocious my reading has been this summer, so I've lowered it to 85, which would still be the most books I've read in a year. I'm currently, I think, 2 or 3 books behind schedule, so hopefully this will help with that a little bit. But let me show you guys what I'm planning on reading. So in terms of my August TBR, these are the books that I have left on that. Obviously, I'm not going to read all of these, but you know, a girl could try. So first I'm going to start with Court of the Undying Seasons by A.M. Strickland, because this is the book I'm currently reading. As you can see, I am on page 72, and this is about 300, close to 400 pages. This is A.M. Strickland's newest book, and if you guys don't know, they are one of my favorite authors. I've given their 2 other books, Beyond the Black Door and The Ravenous Dark, 5 stars. So far, I'm really liking this. I don't know if it'll be 5 stars, but I am really into the story so far. It's about vampires. I'll give you guys a better synopsis later when I'm not rushing to film this clip, but this is what I'm going to be starting with today. I am really hoping I can finish this quickly because I don't want to spend this whole readathon on just one book. So if this is taking me longer than I would like, I might like switch between books a few times because I don't want to spend the whole 24 hours on just one story. So once I'm done that, one that I definitely would like to read, because it'll be a little bit of a quicker read, is Fruits Baskets Volume 1. This is the collector's edition. So I think there's actually more than one volume in this, but I think I'll just read whatever is in this collection. I don't know. I honestly don't know too much about the story, but it is a manga and I've heard a lot about it. And also some of these books like already have bookmarks in them because I brought them to Michigan, but clearly did not start them because I was overambitious and thought I would read more than I did. Why would I read a lot? Anyways, this will definitely get read in this 24-hour period, so if I have to pause Court of the Undying Seasons to read this, I will, because I feel like this is reading a graphic novel or manga. I feel like just lends itself well to a 24-hour readathon, and I feel like completing something of this size in a relatively fast time will motivate me. And then we have these 2 books. So we have The Long Game and The Lightning Thief, 2 very different books. And if I do finish those 2 other books, I'm not sure which one I'll pick up because I think these can both be fast reads. This one is an arc. It comes out September 5th, so next week. And I have been meaning to reread Percy Jackson for a very long time. And now we have a release date for the show. It's December 20th, I want to say. I think it's December. So I would love to get started on my reread of this series. I mean, whatever I don't read today, I'm probably going to start next anyways after this readathon is done. It just depends what my mood is, but these are my options. So that is my TBR. I'm sure that'll keep me busy for the next 24 hours, but I am very excited. I'm hosting some sprints tonight. Lisa might join. We'll see how she's feeling. But yeah, I'm just very excited. It's been a very long time. I think the last 24-hour readathon I did was in January. So that was 8 months ago, which is way too long because I love doing 24-hour readathons. So I hope you guys have fun with this vlog. I'm gonna try to make it cozy. I'm gonna go read outside for a bit because it's really nice out. I will definitely be ordering myself Starbucks because it's pumpkin spice season. I'm just ready to have a good day of reading, and I'll take you guys along with me. Get a load of my tattoo. I just put cream on it. That's why I have rolled my sleeve up, but look how well she's healing. It's going so well. I got this, what day is it? Today's Monday. I got it on Thursday, so 4 days ago, and look how well she's healing. I am so happy with it. But anyways, please enjoy this while I talk to you guys. I am now on page 150. Yes, 150 of Court of the Undying Seasons, which that means I've read about 80 pages in 3 hours, which is not great. I could be doing better. I'm not even halfway through this book yet. I mean, I'm almost halfway, but not quite. So I wish I had read more, but I'm still really enjoying this book. So I figured I'd give you guys a synopsis now. So you're following our main character, Finn, who is a human, and in this world there are vampires, and Finn has always hated the vampires, mostly because they took her mother many years ago. She is presumed dead, and so she has always kind of resented them for that and has kind of vowed to find a way to destroy the vampires. And in this world, every year there's this thing called the Finding. I always forget what it's called. The Finding, where this group of vampires chooses, I think, 6 cities to visit and choose one person from each village between the ages of 17 and 19, I think. And then they bring them back to their vampire kingdom that is very reminiscent of ACOTAR. There's different courts and everything. And Finn sacrifices herself because her friend and the person she is secretly in love with is supposed to get taken. So she sacrifices herself, and then it turns out her friend actually wanted to get taken. So whoopsies. Now she is in the heart of the vampire kingdom, and she is still planning on finding a way to kill them. But things are not going to plan, because the more she learns about the vampires, the more she's like, maybe it wouldn't be so bad to be a vampire. And I'm just really enjoying it. Like, honestly, if I had to compare this to A.M. Strickland's other books, so far this is probably my least favorite. I mean, I'm still like, I don't want to reserve any judgment until I'm actually done the book. In terms of the story, I think I like their other 2 books better. Also, like, people were saying this in Jan's Patreon, which I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm reading this for Jan's Full Moon Book Club. I'm going to be the guest host for the live show on Wednesday, so I do need to finish this book for that. But I think some people said in her Discord that it read very YA, and I would agree. I would say, from what I remember of Beyond the Black Door and In the Ravenous Dark, they read more as new adult, whereas this I find reads more YA. But I do love YA fantasy. Like, that's like, most of my favorite books are YA fantasy. I just haven't read a good one in a long time. And there's definitely better ones than this. However, I'm just having a great time. Like, the writing, A.M. Strickland's writing is just, for me, I can't explain why, but I find it so readable, and I find it comforting almost. Like, I can always tell that it's their writing. And I mean, it's, like I said, it's too early to judge this book yet, but this might end up being a 5-star just because I love their writing so much. And like, is it a 5-star book? Maybe not, but I'm just really loving it. I just love being back in one of her worlds. Also, her stories are always incredibly queer, and I just love seeing, you know, classic YA tropes include a variety of queer characters, because that's not something we've always gotten in YA fantasy. We're definitely getting it more now, but I find A.M. Strickland's worlds just like, they're just so queer. Like there isn't like one or two token queer characters, like pretty much everybody is queer, and it's great and I love it, and it's so normalized in the worlds too, and it just makes me feel really good and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm gonna keep reading. I've moved inside because it's getting pretty hot out, and I'm just gonna keep reading this. I might light a candle, and then hopefully I can get a good chunk of this done before sprints tonight. I don't know if I can finish it before then, because that's in 4 hours. And so far I'm not reading too fast, but I did have to stop to like eat lunch and stuff. So anyways, we're just gonna keep going, but I figured I would update you guys. And so, yep, just gonna keep reading this. Anyone who's watching, welcome to these sprints on this Monday evening. It is 12:40 and I have finished what is this book called? Court of the Undying Seasons. I am so sleepy. I mean, I finished this closer to midnight, but then I kind of disassociated for a bit, put my pajamas on, all that. But I did finish this. I am so tired. But I think I'm gonna give this 4 stars. The ending kind of lost me a little bit. I mean, I think part of it was just that I was getting really tired, but also I feel like this book just tried to do too much with the story and with the reveals. Like, there were a bunch of reveals in this book, and the first few I was like, whoa, like, didn't see that coming, and then I was like, okay, that's enough slices, you know? And I think, like, I love a good standalone fantasy, but I think this story could have benefited from being either a duology or even a trilogy. Like, I could see clear spots where this book could have ended, and it would have been like such a great cliffhanger, and then that way A.M. Strickland could have still done what she wanted to with this ending, but expanded on it a bit more, because like the explanation for things kind of came out of nowhere. So I think I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm sorry this lighting is so bad right now, but this is what we're dealing with. So I'm happy I finished this. That means today I read about 220 pages, which is kind of honestly a little disappointing to me. I don't know, I always feel disappointed after I do these 24-hour readathons, because I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna read so much. I'm gonna read like 2 or 3 books, even though that never happens. And then I see other booktubers be like, I read 5 books in 24 hours, and I'm like, why can't I do that? Like, I wish I was a faster reader. I wish I could focus for longer, but I tend to get distracted very easily. And it's not even just my phone that distracts me. I'll just suddenly start thinking of something, and then I'll just kind of sit there thinking instead of reading. I don't know. I'm sorry that this vlog isn't like, I read 5 books in 24 hours, because that's, I mean, I know the readathon isn't done, but I can tell you guys that's not what's gonna happen. But I don't know, I just always get discouraged. But then, like, I've been trying to tell myself when I was still working full-time, I love how I was like, this clip will not be long, and now I'm going off on a tangent. But when I was working full-time, like, the amount of times I thought to myself, like, I just wish I was at home reading right now. Like, I wish I could just have a day where I could just read, and literally that's what today has been. And instead of like being grateful that I have time to read, I'm instead being like, I'm not reading enough. So I'm trying to just be grateful. I finished a book. I started this like 2 days ago, like it took me almost 2 weeks, I think even 2 weeks, maybe even close to 3 weeks, to read The 7-Year Slip, which is like a 300-page romance, and it took me 3 days to read an almost 400-page fantasy. So I'm trying to cut myself some slack. But anyways, the tangent is over. I finished this, and now what I'm gonna do is just start Fruits Basket. I highly doubt I'll read this whole thing before I go to bed, but I'm just gonna read this in bed until it's time to sleep, and then I'm planning on setting an alarm for 7 tomorrow, and hopefully I can finish this and at least start a 3rd book, but we'll see. whatever happens is fine. I'm trying not to put too much pressure on myself. The sprints were really fun, by the way. Thank you to anyone who came. But I am sleepy, so I'm gonna go get cozy, start this, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Alright, so it is the day after the 24-hour readathon has ended. I didn't update at all yesterday morning because I was just trying to read as much as I could before the end of the readathon. So let me update you guys on what I was able to accomplish. So I did end up starting Fruits Basket, the volume, whoops. I did end up starting Fruits Basket volume 1 of the collector's edition. I don't know how many volumes are in this edition. There are, hold on, it says how many chapters there are. So maybe that'll give you an idea. There's 12 chapters. I read the first chapter or two the other night and then I just read the rest of it yesterday morning. I really liked this. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was really, really cute. This is basically about this girl who is living alone in a tent because both her parents have died and she was living with her grandfather, but then her grandfather's house was getting renovations and he was like, you're gonna have to find somewhere to live for a while. So she was like, I guess I'll just buy a tent and live in it in the woods. And then these boys find out that she's living out there and they're like, why don't you come stay with us for a bit? It's kind of like a found family slash, I think there's gonna be a romance with her and one or more of these boys. I don't know, but I'm really liking the relationship between all these characters. Like, I don't know, they seem to really care about her. So I really like it so far. And also there's a fantasy element in this book because these boys, they're all like kind of related in a way. I don't know if I completely understand that because I thought it was one big family, but then one person in the family has a huge crush on another one and I'm like, wait, are you related? I don't know. But basically this group of people, when they hug someone from the opposite sex, they turn into an animal from the Chinese zodiac, which is very interesting. So I thought it was really cute and I'm excited to continue this series. So yeah, I gave this 4 stars. And when I finished Fruits Basket, I think it was like 10:30, so I still had an hour and a half left of the readathon. So I started The Long Game by Elena Armas. I decided to start this instead of Percy Jackson because I just wanted like a romance. I didn't want any more fantasy in my brain, even though I know the story very well, but like I couldn't handle fantasy at the moment. I was so tired yesterday. So I started this romance and I got to page 59. So just quickly, this follows this woman named Adeline and she works for a soccer team in the MLS, which I forget what it stands for, the Major League Soccer, I'm pretty sure that's it. And there was an incident between her and the team's mascot where there's a video of her like basically beating him up. And the video goes viral and her father, I think, owns the team. And so he's like, you know what, you gotta clean up your act. So he sends her to this town that's basically in the woods in North Carolina and she is going to help run this U10 girls soccer team. And when she gets there, she literally runs into, and by that I mean she runs her car into this man who is of course very tall and very big. And it turns out he is a professional goalkeeper and he coaches this little girls soccer team. And so they get off on the wrong foot, but they're gonna help run this team together and they're gonna fall in love. So I got to page 59 and then I read a bit more last night. So I'm now on page 82. but I'm really liking this so far. I mean, Elena Armas's books are just like silly goofy times. I really enjoy her romances, and already I'm liking this more than the American Roommate Experiment, so I have very high hopes for this. So that's what I ended up reading for the 24-hour readathon that I did. Now let me add up how many pages that was. So Court of the Undying Seasons is how many pages? 388, and I started on page 72, and then Fruits Basket is exactly 400 pages, and then I read 59 pages of The Long Game, so that means I read 775 pages, which is not my best in a 24-hour readathon, but I think it could have been worse. Like I was saying the other night, I wish I could just have enjoyed reading instead of worrying how much I was reading, but I definitely, you know, I got some books finished, and I think I finished the month off strong. I mean, the month isn't over yet, but I definitely got some books read that I probably wouldn't have finished if I hadn't done this readathon. So I think it's a success, and I'm just being too hard on myself like I always am. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end, leave the soccer ball emoji for The Long Game. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon with another video soon. Bye!